It's okay.
Welcome everyone to our first Vernon Quester sponsored Zoom meeting. It's wonderful to see you all here. Just as a little note, we will be recording this, and Tracy, our new secretary, is going to be sending out a replay link to everyone. And you can feel free to share that with anybody that you'd like to, that you think might benefit from the wisdom we're all about to be inundated with from our very special guests. You can see up in the, I was going to say up in the corner, but that's on my screen. We've got Turtle Mother and White Eagle joining us from Ontario. And
hello. Hello.
We're absolutely delighted to have them here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're so happy to have them joining us here. I'm going to tell you a little bit. Okay, just a second. Oh, I see. Okay, gotcha. White Eagle, also known as Doug Gray, has been a spiritual warrior, a spiritual teacher throughout the world for many decades now. Him and his partner, Turtle Mother, whom you can see in the photo there, they're joining us from Ontario. We're absolutely delighted to have them. They've traveled, these two, throughout the world doing, and I'm sure they're going to tell you a little bit about it, doing sacred ceremony around the world in many countries, helping to open up the heart chakra of the earth, the heart chakra of us, and join us all together in a beautiful healing that very much connects to Mother Earth. Doug was teaching me that if you take the H off of the word earth and put it into the front of the word earth, we come up with heart. And that's what this is all about. This whole movement happening on the planet right now, this great awakening that we're all witnessing and participating with, has to do with healing our hearts. And from there, we heal the earth. White Eagle is a former minister, retired minister, and a great pilgrim on the planet here. He's Métis origin, and he's been doing this kind of work for a long time. So without further ado, I'm going to turn the microphone over to Doug to talk to us about heart walkers, head talkers and heart walkers. Okay, thanks, Doug. Why don't you introduce Fran and let's get things going here.
Thank you, Megwitch. And welcome to you. Thank you. We're so humbled that you would invite us to come, and especially on this very, very special occasion at the beginning of a new direction for the Dowsers. And when we look at that and we realize that this is a significant time, so it's only appropriate that this should be a new chapter in the pages of the Questers, and to realize that to those in Vernon, we welcome you to our home, and that we've lived in. The house is 150 years old, so it's pretty well as old as Canada. And my wife and I have lived here for 50 years. So basically,
yeah, we're old.
But the reality is we used to run up the path to this house when we were in our 20s. And now we don't run up the path. We sort of go up this path slowly and more cautiously. And that happens as you grow older. And hopefully, we don't care about growing older. We care about growing wiser. It's said that intelligence without humility is arrogance, and that arrogance without wisdom or without intelligence is wisdom. So it's important that we understand the difference. And then what I would like to do is introduce.
We want to say Megwitch.
Megwitch.
Megwitch means thank you from our hearts to your hearts. So when we say Megwitch, 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 we are saying thank you to you, and thank you today for letting us join into this beautiful. I think it's going to be a wonderful day, a wonderful session, and I hope you enjoy it. And now
Yeah.
we'll let White Eagle talk.
So now what we do is Turtle Mother, who is a traditional healer, and we see people constantly by phone, or they'll come here, and basically animals, four-legged friends that come for treatments. We had 2 yesterday that were suffering with pain. So we were able to address the pain and allow them to leave in a sense of wellness. And so there are so many things to talk about, because we have a collection of 80 years beneath our belts, and how we met as young lovers. And I know that there are those out there that would say, I wonder how they met. Well, we'll go into some of that today. So what I want to do first is always extend my paddle to you. And so I extend this paddle that was made by the Haida Kwai, and basically is over 100 years old and comes from Haida Kwai. And so you'll see it has ribbons on it from the different countries of the world that we have traveled, and have become lifetime members of the American Society of Dowsing, the Canadian Society of Dowsing, the British Society of Dowsing, and in India, and also did ceremony in Saigon, in the killing fields of Saigon, where the blood of the children cries from the land, from the ground. And so we cry for the pain that we have caused to Mother Earth. And we come first, as I extend my paddle to you, to come and join us in a canoe and to travel with us today for this short time, which will be a short time, but will take us over many waters. So now I extend the ancient paddle to you to come. And remember, in our canoe, nobody gets a paddle but the teacher. So it means that we carry our paddles with us, and to understand that, because you only get a paddle like an eagle's feather when it's time. And when it's time, you'll be given that paddle. And so, because otherwise, human beings tend to be control freaks. They want to control everything. And it was Carl Jung, the philosopher, that said, what's true in the morning will not be true in the afternoon of life. So life can change like that. And so today we want to be just informed about the traditional teachings and walking the ancient path of our ancestors on the sacred medicine wheel, to learn about the medicines, to learn about your life and where you are on the medicine wheel of life. And this being a spiritual time in Christianity, because it's gone into Lent. But, the interesting thing is that in that period of time is set aside for people to, oftentimes they give up things. And what we want for people to think about is giving up the things that are no longer appropriate to who you are in your life, letting go of them and not taking them back. It was the whiteface that called the native people Indian givers, because we would give from our hearts. And that's what it meant. Indian giving meant that we gave from our hearts. We expected nothing in return, because the gift was in the giving. And so we give to you today our lessons learned along the way as 2 lovers and 1 eagle, 2 wings, Earth Mother and a Turtle Mother. And I look at our lives together, the wind beneath my wings. And for her, we've been so blessed. But it didn't come just like that. It took effort. It took unconditional love. We had to be willing to let go of everything. let go and forgive, because it was the Christ that said, forgive them, for they know not what they do. So what we have to do in forgiveness today is to let go. Thank you. Here's the clock chiming.
Yes.
Our clock in here chimes when a truth is given. And so we always say thank you. It never keeps the right time, but it's always the perfect time. And so now, if you have a clock in your home, keep an eye on it, because sometimes they talk more than they tick. And they talk to us. So we want everyone here today to take away with you a piece of the teachings. This today is a spiritual buffet, and we will serve many different special dishes. And on the menu, there will be crow and how to eat crow. And it's an experience that not a lot of people like. And then there's a generous portion of humble pie will be served. So be prepared to be open, to be honest, and to be in gratitude. Now, Turtle Mother is saying we should
do a nice breathing
exercise. So let's
up
you
from
do
the
that.
okay, yeah, you go ahead.
We're going to breathe up from the earth. Everybody breathing up from the earth.
Up from the earth
and out to the sky. Again,
up from the earth
and out to the sky.
One more time.
Up from the earth, out to the sky. And then we shake. Shake. Take your hands and shake. This is Tibetan teaching.
Shaking,
so what we do is we shake our hand. Shake all the toxicity, all the negativity. Shake. Then shake it away. Go away. Shake. Oh, you're not shaking. Shake. Yeah,
we can see you.
I can see you. Egos have very far off and close up.
Bring all the energy, all the good energy. Yes.
Let's bring all the good energy to us.
Just
my goodness. Whoa, feel alive. Oh, look at you. Good for you. So we have so much to be thankful for. And every time we open our eyes, we say thank you, Miigwech, for another day, another opportunity. And we come face to face every day. We connect with our Creator. And when we open our eyes, we see light. And Creator is light. So He greets us. They greet us and say, good morning, and children. And we say, good morning, Creator. So please, make sure that you're greeting your Creator daily. And for some, maybe you haven't spoken to the Creator for a long time, and you need to go back and say, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And in families, that happens. You'll get family members that for whatever reason, they go their different ways. And all we have to do is remain. You don't have to fix it. All you have to do is allow them to heal in their brokenness. So we're now at a time where we've opened our energy, our hearts, and we've said good morning to Creator. And what I would like to do now is
open over here to give you a little bit more room, and then I can pass anything to you. Excuse me.
Turtle Mother is
going over here, so
he's sneaking out.
No, it's so he can have more room.
She always sneaks out when it comes time to pay the bill.
I will hold
this. Yeah, it seems to be some sort of but I notice it happens with all the guys. They end up at the cashier paying, and their wives have all disappearing medicine. They're gone. And then they reappear at the door when the bill's been paid. So what I'd like to do today, and this is a bit of wisdom learned along the way, for those guys that are perhaps watching. So yes, it seems to be a trait amongst the feminine energy. So now what I'm doing here is, for some of you, you may have remembered when I did a workshop out in Seminar, and to those people from Seminar, hello, hello. And so what we do is we always begin our ceremonies with the opening of the sacred blanket. And so Turtle Mother and White Eagle will open the blanket. Yes. So we'll hold each a corner of the blanket, and it is, you'll see that it is a traditional blanket, and the patches are patches of history. And this blanket has traveled throughout the world and has been sewn by the grandmothers. So we open now the sacred blanket, we will raise it to Creator.
Yes.
And we ask Creator that this day of teachings, in the circle of teachings, will be to the Creator a teaching that is worthy of Creator's love. And so with that, we now lower the blanket to the floor. Good. And so the sacred blanket is open, and we now can begin. So we would, I'm going to teach you many things today. So this is, remember, it's a spiritual buffet. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes,
I need to turn that up. Turn that up.
I'm sure. It's okay.
While White Eagle is pausing here, I'd like to let everyone on the Zoom call know that if you look at the bottom of your screen, approximately in the middle, you'll see a little box that says chat. And chat is a place where, if you have a question that you'd like me to ask White Eagle as we proceed through the next couple hours, just type it in there. And when there's a little pause, he's going to be delighted to respond to your questions. So just so you know, that chat is there for us to use.
Oops. Okay, give that to me.
It's okay.
I can turn it up. Okay.
Make rich. So now we have been bathed in spirit, and we have been bathed in light, and all of the toxic heaviness has left us in a moment of openness. And where I sit in this room, I see these clouds are white and billowy against a blue sky. And it says that sky, Creator says, is our minds, the way we think. And those white billowy clouds are our thoughts that are ever changing, like the clouds that will change and continue to to move across the sky as our thinking will change from sometimes heaviness to dark and toxic thoughts. And we need to remember to let go of them. Let them go. For when the mind is open, it means we are open to receive. So what we want to do is empty ourselves today of all toxicity, of all the hurts. And, you know, we're all here attending the University of Life. Yeah, we're all students at the University of Life, where no one ever fails, but that everyone will get to graduate. So God's creator's love is unconditional. There are no negotiations, and there are no conditions. And when people try to put conditions on things, it's no longer love. So it becomes then a business transaction. And the biggest business in the world is the business of unfinished business. Yes, the business of unfinished business. Today we're talking about head talkers, heart walkers. People, who are you? Are you a head talker or a heart walker? Heart walkers come from the heart. Head talkers speak from the head and sometimes have no filter and can be very critical and fault finding, or can be like a person who's a nitpicker, and that's called mouse medicine. Yeah, so you might have some mouse medicine. So mouse medicine means when people scrutinize, and most person could see the lint, the black lint on my black sweater. And so what I need to know is that you are now at a time, we need to know where you are on the medicine wheel of life today. There are 4 quadrants on the medicine wheel, and it's like the sacred drum that has the 4 directions. So you've got the north, the south, the east, and the west. The north is eldership, and it's white, winter, and it's eldership. It's the giveaway time to give away, to let go and pass it on. Let it be transmuted back into light. The east is yellow, morning sun, and it's new beginnings. This is a new beginning today. And this will go down in the history book of time as a new beginning for, you know, when we look at the group and realize that, my goodness, here we are today, beginning a brand new beginning, a new chapter in the life of the questers. And for Vernon, and for Sam and Arn, and for all those people that may be aware or will watch this tape in England, and will watch this tape in India, and in the United States, and in Canada. So we look to all those groups and realize suddenly that we are a family. We are all interconnected. And there's not 3, but 4 segments. So when you understand what type of a dowser are you? Are you a water dowser? Are you an earth dowser? Are you a spiritual dowser, a healer? Or are you a mental dowser? So what we need to do, earth dowser. So we look at all of the different quadrants to see where you are. Are you at a new beginning in your life? A new relationship? With all relationships begin with ourselves. And so we must learn that if a relationship is to grow, it's us that must change. So we leave the 4 quadrants on the medicine wheel, asking you, which one are you? And at the end, what we want you to do is to take a stick. Everybody gets a stick, and find a stick somewhere and take that stick, and I want you to take it outside and either burn it or bury it in the snow. And say in the stick when you bury it, just like when we turn the eco feather down, it means it's over. So when we look and we hold the stick and we put it down, it means it is finished. Let go and don't take it back. Because if you take it back, it will come back and bite you on the bum. Yeah. So anyways, so this of course is the drum, which is the heartbeat of Mother Earth. And what we did is we play in spirit, and everything begins to move into the realm of spirituality. And this morning, here we are, all on different journeys. And I'll just place my drum here. And then what I want to do is I brought my friends. Oh, I brought my friends. So I want you to be able to, oh my goodness. Just I'll put this here. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Hello, good morning. Good morning to you. How are you? Yes. Oh, now this is one of our little friends. Oh, yes. And she's saying good morning to you too. So good morning. Good morning. So how are you? Good. She says she's good. So anyways, we'll just, she loves to give us kisses. So anyways, there. So to you, she sends kisses, many, many kisses. Look, look. Yes. So this is our tiny friend, and they come in all shapes and sizes. They teach us to love. They teach us to love unconditionally. And you know, it's interesting because when we love, we have to understand that love is like the sun. The sun has two natures. The same sun that gives life brings death. The same sun that softens the earth hardens the earth. The same love that once was full and vibrant sometimes becomes bitter and not nice. In one of my writings, I have said that don't pick flowers of bitterness, my child, or you will find that once was once a gift of love has turned to bitter wine. Don't let that happen. If you have bitter wine, spit it out. Yeah, spit it out. And take something new from the buffet of life. And don't be afraid to step out of your I've seen people go into places and they would never try a new food because, oh, I don't like the taste of it. I don't like, but you know what? You find that when people are hungry, when they get hungry, if you took them to the bush for a week without food, believe me, they'd eat your shoe. So what we're saying is that we need to get back to who we are. And the problem with our world now is that the elders are telling us it's time. The prophecies say that they've gone as far as they can. The swing of the pendulum has swung as far to the left as it can. And now it's coming back to find balance. And the wonderful is we have to leave the heart, the head, and we have to make the journey to the heart. And so when we do that, it means that the head and the heart unite in a sacred bond of marriage. And when the head and the heart become one, you have us. We are the head and the heart. And we never go to bed at night without telling each other that if we've had a disagreement, we allow each other and we respect each other's individuality. So but we always say to each other, I'm sorry. If I've said something to offend you, I'm sorry. And, you know, we would never go to bed without telling each other that we love each other, because tomorrow we might just be on the other side. So we need that time always. So we have no regrets. Our lives are very, very simple. We're not slick. We're not like, you know, very, when it comes to computers and all these high tech things, and we're 80. We're in our 80s. So, I mean, to us, it wasn't that long ago that my grandparents were using smoke signals. So, you know, but today, smoke signals, I mean, we still use smoke signals, because when you look on the horizon and you see smoke, you know, wherever there's smoke, there's fire. So we pay attention. So just a moment, are we good here? Hello?
Yes, everything's great. Everything's
Great,
great.
great. Okay,
Good.
don't move anything. So anyways, I'm going to put my little friend here who comes with me when I'm teaching children. And my wife, we did healings out in Regina for many, many years. And we have our teepee. And then along with 30 other teepees that are like 20 feet in diameter, each teepee. And our table that we bring in, a massage table, and we put people on it, and we treat them there. And my wife teaches children to become healers. So we take the children and they place their hands on the person that's on the table. And we ask them, when the drum is played, we ask them to send the energy through these children. Children are most efficient healers, because they are free and they don't hang on to things. So it's very important. It's very important for you to understand that love has no boundaries. It doesn't have red, yellow, black, white. It doesn't matter. And I'll tell you, if you don't believe me, all you have to do is look at the way sometimes we love our four-legged friends that come and they become part of our lives and become part of our memories when they're gone. So yes, I've seen people that love their babies, their four-leggeds, and they grieve too at the loss of their friends. So I've seen animals that have grieved the loss of their owner or their friend who has been with them through the journey, and they've literally spent days, weeks grieving. So remember that love knows no boundaries. So if you're putting boundaries on anything, then it's not unconditional love. It's not love. It's a business deal. So what we're doing today is we're talking about the business of unfinished business. We're talking about head talkers, heart walkers. You can put a head talker into a situation. You could take a head talker into a funeral home, and within seconds, they would create a war. And you see that going on in the world today. And that's what's wrong, because there are so many head talkers that have not made the journey from the head to the heart. And once we make the journey from the head to the heart, we change forever. And there's a part of us that becomes whole. And it's our soulmate, that when the head and the heart become one, we have the sacred marriage bond, which is our soulmate. And without our soulmate, I can't imagine my life without my soulmate. And knowing that both Fran and I work together in healing as healers, we come from the head to the heart, and we meet at that place, which brings into the spirit of oneness. So what were you saying?
Would people like to to let everything go into the blanket.
Oh, my wife,
I think
the
that's
turtle
you-
mother,
you
is
could
saying
do
this
that
is a wonderful
for
opportunity.
healing and put
for you
into the
now.
blanket
Let's take whatever it is
that we can.
that is in your heart hurting you.
Yeah.
It may be a family member that has said something. Words sometimes can be very painful. And things that, or someone that's gone, that has left us, either to go into the higher octaves, or perhaps have left us on our path by ourselves. So what I want, and what Earth Mother is asking us to do today, is to bring whatever it is that you need to let go of,
To the blanket.
and we'll bring it to the blanket and we'll release it there. So what I want everyone to do now is to come to the blanket. And as we come to the blanket, I'm going to drum, and I'm going to ask that you visualize yourself standing at our blanket. And thank you. Did you hear that? Beautiful. So anyways, what's happening
Maybe she could
is,
sing.
as you come to the blanket, I want you to kneel down. Visualize yourself kneeling down.
Yes.
And putting whatever it is in your red bundle into the blanket. And then what I want you to do is to take the tobacco and sprinkle it over the blanket. Yes. So what we want to do now is,
and she could sing the song.
People-
Has anybody ever?
yes,
That would
could
be-
you
Jacqueline could
for
sing.
us, Jacqueline,
Yes.
could you introduce us to the song? Has everyone ever told you?
Okay, I will. You bet. This is
Wait.
one of White Eagle's favorite songs. We performed it and we got everyone to sing it together 2 years ago at the Canadian Quester Society annual fall conference in Salmon Arm. So that's what he's been referring to there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share screen with you all so you can sing along with us. Do you want them to unmute themselves for this song?
Oh, sure.
So each of you, I just got to find the crazy thing. Where is it?
You want to do it after.
1 second here. Each of you has a, there, that's the one. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
If
You
you
can
could
see
sing
the-
it through once and then to give us the,
Okay,
and then everyone.
can everybody see the words right now?
Can you all see it?
No, okay, hold on, we'll get it. Just 1 second here. Gonna go like that and then like this. Let's see if you can see it now.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Okay, now if everybody wants to unmute themselves, we can sing this together. Unmute yourselves is something that's kind of in the corner of your screen there.
But could you sing it through once for them so they can get the idea of the tune?
You bet. I'll sing it once and then, can you hear the guitar?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'll sing it through once. Those of you who know it can join in. And then after that, we'll do it 4 times for each of the 4 directions. Okay?
Yes.
How could anyone ever tell
Tell
you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to know that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. All right, let's connect here. How could
And
anyone
anyone
ever tell you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to know that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
my soul.
How could anyone
Anyone
ever
can
tell You were
You were
anything
anything
less.
less than beautiful.
How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your love is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my
My
soul.
soul.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less
Less
than
than
whole? How
whole.
could anyone fail to notice that your love is a miracle?
Miracle.
How deeply you're connected to my soul. Okay, one more time. Let's
One
go.
more time.
How could anyone ever tell you you were
You were
anything less
and
than beautiful?
beautiful.
How could
How can
anyone
anyone ever
ever
tell
tell
you
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 were
were
less
less
than
than
whole? How
whole?
could
How can
anyone
anyone
ever
to
tell
tell
you
you
that your
that
love
is a
how
miracle?
deeply
You are
you're connected
connected
to my
to my
soul. Can you feel it,
soul.
everyone? How deeply
You're
you're connected
connected
to
to my soul.
Very nice.
Yes. That's so good.
Thank you all for singing. And please mute yourselves again. It just cuts down on the background noise. Thank you so much for participating.
Thank you. So now, how wonderful and how beautiful to know that we are all connected to each other's soul.
Yes.
And did you get it, Randy?
Yes.
My wife's trying to get a Kleenex without being seen because she was
Oh
crying.
no, I'm in the.
So.
Well, it sounds like we touched somebody's heart, eh?
Yes.
Oh
yes.
yes. Yeah, we got it. Oh, good. Hang on.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah. So here we are, and I have all these things to share with you in the buffet. This is the hip bone of the ego, and I carry it as the always with me as the reminder, and it connects to my soul as the ego flies higher than any other creature. Eagles don't, you'll very seldom see an eagle on the ground unless there's something terribly wrong. Because eagles see farther than any other creature. They see close up and far off. They see the salmon moving in the bottom of the riverbeds, and they could be up 2,000 feet in the air. And they see the salmon moving, and they can make their dive and take that salmon back to their babies. Or they can see far off. They can see the mountains, and they can see if there's anything that's in any way threatening their babies. And they would never leave their babies unattended. They always choose 2 trees so that they can build their nest. And when the time comes, the eagles know, and the mother will know the day, the very day when it's time for them to learn one of life's hugest lesson. And that is where the parents will leave the nest that day after feeding them and teaching them. They will pull out all the feather downing in the nest that makes it so comfortable. And all of a sudden, all that's left in the bottom of the nest is glass and barbed wire and things they place there. Because they know that if these children stay in the nest, they will never grow. And this is not who they are. They are eagles, and they must soar into the sky and not remain in a nest. How many children today do you know, or families that you know of, where the children have not left the nest, and the mothers have kept their children from flying and thinking they're doing the right thing, but in truth, they're preventing them from learning the lessons of life. They must learn those lessons for themselves. We can't walk their path for them, as Mother, tells us that we need to let them go. So today is about learning about the pathway of surrender, to let go. We let go of those things that we wanted to get rid of in the sacred blanket. And we sang the song and celebrated. And what happened is we shook all the negativity off. And so we again bring to mind the integrity of the ego. And the ego will build its nest with such love, but it knows the day. There will come a day when the mother and father will leave the nest and they will never return. And they have a tree nearby where they can watch, but they'd never allow anything to harm their babies, their eaglets or fledglings. But what they do is, even though those children could be starving, they would not bring one more morsel of food to them. They would fly by with the salmon or a fish, and they would fly maybe 3 feet from the nest and they would drop it. So they're baiting them out of the nest, and you see the fledglings up on the side of the nest, and they're screaming, I'm sure, at their parents, saying, feed me, feed me. And if they were to do that, they would fail as parents. And they know and understand that those children must learn to feed for themselves now. So they drop the food, and one by one, the fledglings will begin to lift their wings. And the wings are 6 to 8 feet. And as they begin to lift their wings, and suddenly, one by one, they will take their gliding leap from the nest. And the mother and father, eagle, have fulfilled their purpose. And those eagles will live to be one of the oldest living birds in the world. And you look at that and you say, my goodness. So it's so important that the eagle teaches us when it's time to let go. And there's no mother nature is extremely loving and kind, but equally, like the sun, can be equally as brutal, or what appears to be brutal. When Mother Nature says enough is enough, believe me, we're experiencing it now. And you're seeing there's nature has taken back its power. And you're seeing flooding. Flooding is cleansing. And yet, isn't it interesting that the same water that gives you life can kill you if it becomes contaminated? And I look at that and I think, my goodness. And then I think of, not only the water, but the fires that are raging throughout the world. And you see the rage in people. And you see what happened recently in the US. And what we need to do is don't get caught up in the politics, because what we need to do is move from the head to the heart. And remember, what it's all about is growing and finding our purpose and being in unconditional love. And that will bring us back to balance.
The heart can be too emotional also. It can be so emotional. That's why we need that balance.
Now, Turtle Mother is saying, always remember that the heart can be too emotional. So that's why the head and heart must unite in one-ment, because the heart alone would just give away the farm, And the reality is we have to teach the heart to be not only gentle, but in balance, to find balance. So we're looking for head talkers becoming heart walkers and light beings. So it's part it's part of the birthing of becoming at one with ourselves. And so remember the story and the lesson of the eagle. Now, I have some other things in here that I want to share with you, and I'll run very quickly. A few years ago, I went into renal failure, and that's when your kidneys no longer refuse to work. And they told me at the time that my creatinine level was 6,500, and that my kidneys had gone into kidney failure, renal failure, and that I was scheduled for a dialysis on the Monday morning. And they had me on a prep, and I was very puffy. I couldn't believe it. And I thought, what's going on? And they said, well, the kidneys aren't working. And so when the nephrologist came, I said, oh, you have to go. You have to leave now and let me go and visit and talk to my body, my kidneys. And so I went, and the nephrologist said, I believe in that. He was from India. He said, I believe in that. I'll leave you and I'll come back later. And so anyways, he left, and I left quickly from my bed in another form, because I had made my subway, and my subway the car came to my bed, and I could hear the squealing of the wheels, the doors open, I got into the subway, and away I went on the subway. And I passed all the stations, Hartville, Lungtown, and then I came to Kidneyville, and it stopped, and I got out, and I saw on the platform there was a bench, and on the bench sat two my kidneys, and they were like these little raisins, singing raisins. And now, what happened is, I want to show you. This is what they were like. Can you see them?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah. Well, this is what they were like, and they were sitting on the bench. And when I went to get off the train, I saw them speak to each other, but they wouldn't look at me. So I knew that I had offended them by thought, word, by deed. And anyways, I went and sat on the bench beside them, and I said, look, guys, whatever has happened, I am so sorry. And I want to apologize, and I want to thank you for the years that you worked for me so well, and did the very best. And forgive me for being rude, and for just taking for granted that you're going to be there tomorrow, and giving you no acknowledgement. And I am so sorry. And even if you chose not to work again for me, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. And this is what's going to go. What they want to do is they want to put me on a machine and bypass you. They want to bypass you. And that's where they're going. And it's within hours. And so I'm here to ask if you could find in your heart forgiveness to me, and could come back and just do what you do best, and forgive me for never taking the time to acknowledge and say thank you, and I love you. And so I looked at them. They didn't look at me, and they just stayed there, two of them together. And then I left, and I thought it was time to leave. I had made my peace. I had said what I needed to say, and I felt good. I felt good because I had honored my body, my dearest friend, who had carried me when nobody else would do that or could do that. And I went back. I was in my bed, and within an hour, the nurse came in, and I was on a catheter, and suddenly the nurse came and took my hand and slapped it. and said, "We've got urine." And you know, there were like 2-3 drops of urine. That was the first time in 4 days. And all of a sudden, the urine bag started filling up. And within the day, it had a full urine bag, and I was well on my way to healing. And you know, the wonderful thing was my creatinine level dropped from 6,500, which is very damaging, down to 130. And so I had said to the doctor, if I can, if my healing brings me down to 135 creatinine level, could I leave the hospital? Because my wife and I, we got free tickets to Mamma Mia. And then, you know, it was so funny. The nephrologist looked at me and said, like, the only Mamma Mia you're going to be hearing is from this bed. And I said, but if you can, could you promise me if my creatinine level drops to 135, you'll sign me out? He said, it's a deal. And that following night, Franny, Turtle Mother, and myself were sitting in Mamma Mia. I did a wedding the following day. And when I went to the wedding, they had all these different little characters at each place. And what was sitting at my place? My kidney, my singing raisin. And I carry him with me always to remind me to always be in gratitude and thankful. And so to my kidney, to my bodies. So everyone, put your hand on your heart. Good. And with me, say, I want you to say this we're talking to our bodies and for all the organs.
And for all the organs.
Yes.
And my skeletal body.
My skeletal body.
The blood.
My blood.
And anything connected to the body.
For my whole body, everything connected to my body.
Sure.
Yes. If I have offended you.
If
I have offended you.
By thought, by word, or by deed.
By thought, by word, or by deed.
Forgive me.
Forgive me.
Forgive me.
Forgive me.
Forgive me.
Forgive me.
And for all of those organs, for all of those, my body,
For all of those.
for all of my body,
For all of my body.
That have blessed me.
That have blessed me.
With years.
With years.
Of service.
With years of wonderful service.
I bless you.
I bless you.
I bless you.
I thank you.
I thank you.
I thank you.
I love you.
I
Love you.
And then we say Megwich.
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 Thank you. Megwich. So remember, for those that are, now I get the feeling that there are some people that are participating today that have some health issues going on. So this has been a healing time for prostate, for those that have lumps that they're not sure of. What we want to do is get everyone talking to their body. Make your own subway and go to wherever it is that you need to go to. Maybe you need to go to the head office, which is up in the towers. So what I do is when I'm anything in the head to do with the head, that's the head office. So I take the subway to the head office. And when I go there, I go expecting that I'm going to be greeted with a lot of information. And the head office will tell me and my diagnoses. So we make our own subways, and then we get on board, and that's what it's all about. Today is getting on board.
It's
And you know,
It sounds to me, White Eagle, like you're using your power of imagining, your power to image the body you want, the future you want, the life you want,
Yes.
and you're
Yes.
empowering it with your thought and your intention. You're creating these visualizations like the subway to really increase your faith and your connectedness. Not faith, but the tangible reality of the connectedness. You're really bringing it all together and being active in that area, if that's the right way to describe it.
that's perfect. Yes.
Perfect, that is.
That is absolutely perfect. And, you know, and the subway is also, you know, technology. Here we are, you know, we're in our 80s. And I mean, we move slow, we talk slow, you know, we think slow. And I'm sure that when people enter into our space, it would be very, for some people, because they're like this, they want it now. And, you know, and suddenly they it's like hitting a wall, a huge, big sponge wall, and everything slows down. And the wonderful thing is that, you know, I look at Turtle Mother and I think, who's now in her 81st year.
Oh, thanks,
I
Doug.
look at that, and here she is doing Zooms. I can't do that. Not that I can't. I just I'm not of the same mind as she is. So we together, and why should I have to do it? Because that's her role.
You got
And
an
the
expert there. Why not use her?
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
don't know about that.
And I think that you know there are times I look at her with amazement because she has this thing about technology, and people are shocked when they think and
You have
see
to
that
move with the
she's
times.
81 years old. See, my subway is technology. Our clock in here is a grandfather's clock, and it never ever keeps the right time, but it will gong always when there's a truth. And we always say thank you, because even though you know people would think we're insane, uh, we you know basically acknowledge that even through technology, we are being taught, and it's wonderful. Recently, I share this with you. Recently, my wife and I were approached to find a missing vehicle. And they said, "Oh, could you find a missing vehicle? It's been missing." So anyway, yes. So what we did was we said we weren't sure, but we would try. So we took our dowsing pendulums. We went and we sat at a map, and we located an area where we got that was where
How
the
many?
missing
How
vehicle
many are
was.
map dowsers? How many?
How Earth Mother, actually, Turtle Mother is asking, how many are Earth dowsers
Are
here?
map dowsers?
Map dowsers. Yes.
Good.
And what about water dowsers? Good. And what about healers? Excellent. So I think what happened, then you'll understand. What happened was my wife and I sat in our upstairs little room where we call it our library, and we sat there. We went over the map, and we found a location where we got a positive reaction. And then what happened was we phoned the person that had called, and we said that we would meet with them,
And we found
and
that.
we found
We
it.
found it.
It was in an
What
area.
about the dog?
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
Remember the dog that was running? out
Well,
of
anyways,
somewhere?
we
That
had
was excellent.
we had already when we dowsed for it, it wasn't in a garage. It wasn't in the building. It was in the ground, and it was 3 feet down in the ground. And so what happened was the following day they came and they dug it up. And the interesting thing was it had been missing for 14 years. And so even though it was buried in the ground, we didn't ask what was inside of it or anything else because we were not asked to do that. So, you know, the ego would want us to, oh, what was inside of it? What do you think it was? Who cares? Because it was not our business. So Franny was saying about the dog.
Well, a dog that was running. So it's hard sometimes to find the dog when it's running.
Yeah.
But you said bring water.
Yeah.
And that was it was needed also.
Yeah.
Because of.
And then we had different situations. We had a missing girl that the family came and they said their daughter was missing and her cousin. And we found them and they were down in the US and they were actually had dyed their hair, cut their hair, and they were like 18, 19-year-olds. And anyway, when they went through and they basically were in a place and the family went there. They flew there to that area, to the town, and they were getting ready to go out and find, look around in the town. They said they were in there. And when they were driving, the aunt was driving along the street, and in the park, she saw her niece sitting in the park because she recognized her purse. Now, isn't it funny? A guy would never recognize a purse, but she did, which is a female thing. So she recognized the purse and jumped out of the car and ran and grabbed her niece. And of course, thank you. Did you hear the drum?
Yes.
So anyways, thank you.
Want some drum beating or some
So
songs.
anyways, they found them. And that happened several years ago. But they found them and his friend, you know, Turtle Mother was saying they were on the move. They were moving. So they went and they leased cars, got a motel, and they worked up from the motel and they found them and brought them back to their home. And today those young women are married and they have children of their own.
Did they have any questions?
Yeah, well, we're going to ask that. Are there any questions at this time?
No, we don't have any. No one's typed in questions yet. But I'm going to remind all of our audience here that we have a little box at the bottom of your screen. It should be somewhere around the middle. If you don't see it there might be 3 buttons to the right. And if you click it, it'll say more and you'll see the chat. If you do have any questions for White Eagle or comments, please type them in there and I'll read them and share them with you.
Good, thank you. Now, I don't know whether you can see this or not.
Yes.
Can you see that? This is one of the there.
Right.
This is
hold it up there.
Here.
Don't know.
This is one of my medicines that I use in my medicine bag, and it's a stone from a mountain down in Vermont. And I just was given an opportunity to go and pick the stone.
It looks like a claw.
And it looks like a talon.
A talon holding.
And you see the talon holding a ball.
Yeah, we can see that. Really neat.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Now that was given to me by spirit. And so I keep that in one of my medicines in my medicine bag. And this one, we were in Orlando doing a ceremony at the Temiskaming people where they were star children. That they were like around 300 pounds, 3 to 3.5 pounds, and they were about 8 feet tall. And the Temiskaming, and they're down in Florida. They were there living in a place called what was it?
They only ate seafood.
They only ate seafood. But they just like they lived there and they were very peaceful. And they would have
a museum.
Their hair was all pulled up, and then they had their arrows sticking through their hair. But they would be anywhere from 300 to 400 pounds. And then they disappeared. And
They have
in
a
the
museum.
Bible, thank you. The clock is gonging. Thank you. So the Bible says that in those days in the Old Testament, it says that, and in those days there were giants that roamed the face of the earth and that took upon themselves the daughters of men. In other words, these giants were not human, and they came from the stars. And the offspring were star children. Yes, Fred. Yeah. So, anyways, they basically were.
They have a museum down there.
Oh yes, yeah. Turtle Mother is saying that
yes.
they have a museum down there, and what's it called?
I'm trying to
Starts with S.
very
Sheer,
low,
the beach.
oh,
It's
goodness.
near between Cocoa Beach in Florida.
It's further.
And anyway,
further
so
down.
yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, so when we were there, we were coming out, and I was looking for
Interesting
something
try.
special, and hopefully, I was just looking for something. I don't know what I was looking for. You never know necessarily what it is you're looking for. And what happened when we went to our car, where our car was parked on this sandy parking lot, this was at my door
Yeah,
outside
this
the
is
car.
beautiful.
And I want to show it to you because there, can you see it?
Yes.
Can you
Can
hold
I
it
hold
for
it?
me, please?
Okay. It's
Can you see it?
Yeah, maybe just down a little bit, Fran, and more to the
Down?
middle
towards the middle.
of the screen because we can't see it right now.
Oh, okay, up. No, down. Maybe I'm too close.
So
Can you
keep going.
see
Yeah,
it?
that's the right direction. Over more. Over more.
Okay.
Try put it right in front of Doug.
Oh, right in front of the, okay. Maybe
There we
right-
go. That's better. Yeah.
Okay,
There.
that's better. Okay.
Good.
Now we're just going to show you something.
Now,
Doug
this is
is.
important.
So now it becomes, I'll let Doug do this. I can come back thereafter, but I
So
want you to have room.
you see the head and the heart.
Yes.
And when you understand this was the head and this was the heart. See? And it was quite by accident that,
No, it's
You
Turtle
see that?
Mother.
Oh, yeah. Neat.
you see that?
It's awesome.
So we realized it was all about the journey, the head and the heart.
Yes.
And those star children that came, the Temesquin people. And there's, as Turtle Mother said, there were people who basically, there were people that, and a museum that was built in honor of those people. So historically, it's a fact. It's a historic fact that they existed, but they were not human. It says in the Bible, it said that there were giants that roamed the face of the earth and took upon themselves the daughters of men. In other words, mixed with human beings, and the offspring became hybrids. And the offspring is who we are. We are the offspring of the star children. So that star that shone in the sky the week of Christmas this year was called the Christmas star throughout the world. And people were taking pictures of it. So we look at that and we look at what's going on and we think, wow, this is so powerful and so amazing. So anyways, having shared some of those sacred medicines with you, and there's more in there for another time, but I won't give them all now.
We do have
I
a few
won't-
comments and questions now, if you want to take one or two.
Yeah, does anyone have a question?
One of the questions has to do with the 4 directions. And the question is, what is the south and west descriptions on the drum? She she recalled that north was eldership and east
Yes.
new
Yes.
beginning. She just wanted a little bit more clarification on south and
Yes,
west.
the new beginnings, because the sun, the morning sun, the life begins in the east. So when you look at that, an eagle is the creature that watches over that door. And think east eagle and new beginnings. And eagle's the only creature that can fly into the sun without having to close its eyes. So you look at that and you think, oh my God. So when you see the morning sun, it means like another day, another opportunity to be able to do it right. And we just say thank you.
And we must.
So new beginnings means maybe in a relationship, it could be,
New
but
business.
maybe a new relationship with yourself.
Yes.
And trying to be more honest with ourselves and to not be threatened when someone questions us, because our faith is as strong as the strain it bears. So remember that. And I think it's so important that people understand that we are being tried and tested.
And to get rid of everything.
Yeah, as spiritual
before we
beings.
start.
This is a time when everything you've taken for granted is going to be tested. And you know what? And your faith is as strong as the strain it bears. So don't collapse at this time in fear, but this is time to become eagle and soar into the higher vibrations of enlightenment. So the east is the morning sun, new beginnings. A Turtle Mother said it could be the beginning of a new business, a new career, a new way of looking at things, a new perspective. It could be a new door opening for you. So it's all exciting. So that's the east. Then we move to the south, and south is all about hot. South, when we go south, think of going south. It's to the warmer climates. It's where people take their clothes off. People, they can't wait to get down there and take their clothes off. And they walk on the beaches and they lay in the sand. And it's like it's lovers. It's time for lovers too. And you know what? And it's pretty nice because when you think of the south is emotion, the south is the heart. And like when you look at the elder, the head, and the heart, when they meet together in love and become non-conditional. So yeah, and the creature that guards that door is coyote. Coyote has great humor.
Lots of them.
And if you've ever been around coyotes at night, you listen to them, and they're out there killing themselves in the field, chuckling. They have some pretty good jokes. So coyote is humor, and we call it hayaka. Hayaka. So when we joke about things, it's making light, and it's being able to turn something that's very solid and it is frozen in time, and it softens it, and so it becomes love, because that's what love does. It love is unconditional, and real love is the healer. Yes.
So east is yellow like the sun.
Yes, east is yellow
South
like the sun.
is red like the heart.
Heart.
And now we go to the west. And west is like, the west is black because it is like going into the berry
Great
cave,
history. Yeah.
where we gather everything. And we, all of a sudden, we decide to separate the chaff from the wheat. And I'll let you go on.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Well,
I'm just
I'm trying to.
my mouth is open because I'm just aghast.
Yes, I'm a gas tube, Fran. Carry on. Doing great.
Yes. Yeah. So
Should I go back in here?
yeah, I think you should.
Okay. Or come back in here.
Why don't you sit here and
No.
I'll slip over
No,
here
no,
for
you
you.
can sit.
Just for a minute. Oh, I get a.
We're
I'm
at-
so.
oh, you know, we're at the south.
There.
And then we're moving in so we have east yellow, south is red,
Heart.
and now the heart. And now we're moving into the west. And the west is
Great mystery.
where we gather everything together, separate the chaff from the wheat. And we decide at that point, because we're moving on to the north, which is our giveaway, which is where we give everything away. So we have to separate the chaff from the wheat, and we have to go into the bear cave to think about it and to spend time by ourselves to reflect. And one thing I find really interesting is the bear never goes into the cave until it is full. And if you see a bear outside when it's past hibernation time, you have to be very careful, because the bear knows when it has enough food to go into the cave. And if it doesn't have enough food, it does not go into the cave. So in a way, that is kind of a lesson for us too, because in the West is where, you know, many of us decide, I mean, at our age, to declutter things and to change our life a little bit, make it less cluttered. And so we're separating the chaff from the wheat at that point, if we want to look at it. And also too, with our blanket, this is where anything that we want to take to the blanket, if we want to take the idea of, we're just so overwhelmed with so many things, and a lot of people are right now, we can take that all to the blanket. And that is part of, will be part of our ceremony when Doug does the smudge. And then to the north, where we give away, we're going to, at that point, we give away our knowledge, we give away all the things that are materialistic around us. And that the north is white, so it's the purity. It's where we literally, we are elders at this point. We are elders, and we give all of our knowledge away. Maybe we take on a student, somebody younger that would like to learn things. I think that's probably, I mean, it's not in depth or anything, but there's always something to give away to the blanket. And I think, Doug, I'm going to let you come over, and because I think you're going to do maybe a smudge too. And,
Hey, Fran,
yes.
I think you made a brilliant point there. I just love it. I got tears in my eyes about the elders in the north of their lives giving away all their knowledge. It's so beautiful.
It's so important.
It connects us all the generations, and it's something that the elders can give, and only the elders can give. And it's a sacred gift, and we need to listen to the elders, slow down, bring more respect into our hearts and minds, not expect us all to be the same, or the elders to move as fast as the technology does today, in spite of your tremendous skill, Fran. Just for those who don't know, we barely got on, but we did. So it's a joke between kids. Oh, come on, you guys, get a room. Okay, but I just wanted to comment on that, Fran. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you know, it's interesting, just staying in the thought and the quadrant of the great mystery. You know, people sometimes think the bear hibernates, and that's you know, and it basically is in there for several months, and its babies are born at that time, and they will feed off the mother for like 6 months before they come out. And so she's ravishing, she's hungry, she's starving. And you know, the very important thing that people sometimes miss, and in eldership, we're taught that not only is it about hibernation and going into retrospect, but it's about fasting. And the bear will fast for 6 months. And when we are going into the great mystery, we have to learn to fast. and we have to learn to go without, and in order that we might go within. So that's the that person that asked the question. Does that sort of answer your question about the four quadrants?
I bet it does. Here's another part to that question, and I've got two more after this. What is
Okay.
the animal for the west and the north?
West is bear.
Yeah.
The bear goes into the cave, and the north is the
White buffalo.
the white buffalo. Because white, the white buffalo
Represents.
Yeah,
It represents eldership, and it represents the two
it
natures,
feeds
the
mother.
masculine and the feminine.
Mhm.
So that's why the white buffalo is so sacred to the native people. And when a white buffalo is born, great attention is brought to that experience. So we're seeing right now a lot of white moose, white deer.
Yes.
We had a white hummingbird come to our, actually,
That
and
was
a white squirrel. So we have had many wonderful creatures. Actually, under the floor where we are here, we had a wolverine that lived with us for a year, and then one day left. But we were able to see it. It showed itself to us, and you know, the wonderful thing is
Wolverines are out of their territory
yeah.
when they're here, but
oh yeah,
no, it was a
but
wolverine.
it brought its medicine to us, which was very, very powerful. And we were very excited and thankful for that. So anyway, getting back to the questions.
Yes.
Okay, here's a question. Can we help heal those who oppress us, or is it none of our business?
No, you see how we can heal. It says, if we want to heal the earth, we have to heal ourselves. And healing begins with us. So what it means that we assume full responsibility for everything in our lives that happens to us. We say, like, don't point to other people. I was abused. It was my parents were nasty or whatever. Because I know lots of people that had terrible parents, and they ended up being great parents. And so we're not defined by those things. And what we need to understand is they do not define who we are. We are who we choose to be. And you know, the wonderful thing is, if anyone's familiar with a singer, his name is Chris de Burgh, and he sings a song called
The Head and the Heart.
The Head and the Heart. And I think that, you know, if you have an opportunity, go on Google, look it up. I think it's called The Head and the Heart.
He's back in our day.
or it could be called even the classical dilemma.
Yes, that's right. The classical
between the
dilemma.
head and the heart. And people are, there's a court case going on, and the court case was from the head to the heart, and who would win. And of course, it ends up by saying, an eye find for the heart.
Yes.
And so to the question, I believe that we can change people by just scattering the energy, sending love, sending unconditional love, heaping love upon them. And it doesn't matter. I mean, the more nastier they become, shovel on the love. And all we have to do is love. And remember, we're attending the University of Life. This is all an illusion. We are here to learn. And that's why people come from all directions and the stars, because our ancestors came from the stars. And we're all basically coming to attend the University of Life. This is why we're here, to experience a life upon the face of the sacred star. But it's all an illusion. The Bible says it's through, you're looking through a glass, and what you see is not real. And so you have to understand, it's like sitting in a silver screen movie and you're watching your life pass by on a screen. And all you can do is shut your radio off, be quiet, and watch, observe from your canoe. And don't try and control things. And you'll find that as your mind is open, you will be fed information. And, you know, and that is so crucial.
Many people probably find themselves in retrospect, after looking at a situation in their life, they were meant to be there. It might have looked like you weren't supposed to be there, but
no.
Afterwards, when you start to think about it, yes,
well,
you were supposed to be there.
Turtle Mother and I both are divorcees, and you know, we met at a premiere on drugs because
my friend was doing a movie, on the truth about drugs, and so people were from Rotary and places like, you know, different clubs and that were there to read, you know, to do a preview of it. And at the time, you had
and Franny, I mean, she's being very modest here. Franny was in entertainment. She was an agent and manager, and they worked together. She and a wonderful person.
That's how I was meant to go there.
Yeah, and so she managed a heavy metal group from Europe, and which basically contracted out in the early days, back in the days.
That's going way back.
You know, back in the days, and that's how we met through entertainment.
Amazing guitarist.
And Franny came from the entertainment world, and basically, you know, and I came from the priesthood. I was ordained as a priest. I was in the north delivering babies and you know, flying up in bush planes into the far north. And I lived on a reserve called Broken Head. And you know what? My head had to be broken because when I went up there, my head was so full of crap and all this stuff that I'd taken in. And so my head had to be broken and all let go of all that crap. And then I realized it was my journey of the heart. My journey on the Red Lake Road took me into another time. And so, you know, I look at that and I think, oh my goodness. But then when I came from the north, I came after being divorced, and I thought, this is it. I've never ever, I can't believe this has happened. And you know, I'll never love again. I can love, but it won't be like a relationship. And then I was interviewed for this Franciscan order. I was going to go and work in community and commit my life to the community and work on the streets and whatever. And I then started a clinic at the York Finch Hospital in Toronto, and that ran for 35 years successfully. And anyways, and Franny, guess what? Franny volunteers to work at that clinic. So just for those that are wondering about, you know, sometimes our connections are not, the best thing to do is just let it
thought we were together and we weren't at the time. Yeah, the people actually thought we were together, but we weren't. So there we are.
It was crazy, eh? But you know,
what a wonderful journey.
I know.
Yes.
We've had the most fabulous journey. And it's like,
and we're still talking to each other.
Well, we talk to ourselves, we talk to anything and everything. We talk to the clock. So I mean, what does that tell you?
It's interesting how the story that you just told us about the two of you meeting, how that ties in with what you're saying about we're not really in control. God's going to lead us, Spirit's going to lead us here or there, and you're going to figure it out later, maybe, you know, if you ever have time to look back.
Yeah, you know, it's sort of like grace. It's grace.
Yeah.
Because what happens is we want to control, remember everything. Yeah. And we want to, we want to do this. Yeah. And that's why we don't get a paddle.
We're not really in control.
Because if we had a paddle, we'd want to be here. We'd want to go there. We'd never want to be sick. We'd never want this, never that. And you know what? When we realize that when we're placed in the canoe, we set our course, and the traveling is already preordained. Like it's to me, it's like a spiritual journey that we're on. And the wonderful thing is that it's already been, you know, there's a plan and there's karma. And you look at it and it's so nice that when you look at that and realize that karma brings things together. And, if you try, people try to set up dates and they try to embrace, and then sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But the reality is, as
We embrace all people.
Turtle Mother says, we embrace all people. And it doesn't matter to us because we are all children of Creator.
Yes.
We are all children of the stars. And so for that, we are so excited and thankful. As we are thankful and excited to have be able to spend this time with you today.
Actually,
And
we've got a couple comments here that's right back at you, saying thank you, White Eagle and Turtle Mother, very much appreciated. A great blessing for this Saturday morning.
Oh my goodness.
So just to
That
share
is
that
so-
with you.
That is so humbling. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Should we say every little cell?
Yeah, can we do that? We'd like to sing this song that we sang, and they were having a lot of
It's a very healing song
controversy in one of the
for all of us.
Dowsers groups, and so we were asked to go and be a keynote speaker.
Oh, that means we're off.
Is it a gone?
Oh, no, we can still hear you.
Oh,
Carry
no,
on.
we're not.
good.
Oh, okay.
Good. So anyway, what happened was they asked me to be the keynote speaker in Cirencester in England. And so I went and I wanted to go into the room and see first, get a feel, which you do as a speaker. And I went into the room to watch and see. And I remember this man was speaking, and he was an international facilitator. And then all of a sudden, this woman shouts out, "Stop that gobbledygook and get down to it, man." And I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. I thought, oh my God. And then I felt I could visualize this person saying, knitting a sweater saying, "Guillotine, guillotine." And I had this, oh my God, I'm next. And, and so when
That's
a
long story.
So when I came to be presented as the keynote speaker,
You started the song.
I was walking towards the podium, and my teacher said to me, "Forget what you're going to talk about.
Sing this song.
This is what you need to do." And so my teacher said,
And it got them laughing, and
yeah.
it got them into
my
a
teacher said,
wonderful mood.
we need to change the energy here.
And it did happen.
Nothing
yes.
can happen because the energy is toxic. So you have to address this. So go to the front and give them the finger. So I came to the front and I thought, oh my goodness. So my teacher said, come on, give them the finger. And so I'm looking at all these people and they're all like retired engineers and military commanders and lords and oh my goodness. And so I just thought, oh, please God in heaven. And one more time, my teacher said, give them the finger. So I raised my finger like this, just like that. And their mouths sort of flew open. And I thought, oh my God, this is it. This is going to be it. And my teacher said, tell them what that means. And I said, how many know what this is when we do this? Can you all see it?
Yes.
Yeah, good. Well, you raise your finger. Good. And now I want to tell you the history of the finger, because this was the finger that was significant to the archer. And over 5,000 years ago, they used this finger, meant I am an archer. I am a warrior.
Yeah.
And they would raise their finger. And on the battlefield,
Yes.
they would cut this finger off. Of everybody they would find, they cut that finger off, because if it was an archer, they wouldn't be able to, because they were feared more.
Back the bow.
They were feared more as warriors than any other warrior, because he could never tell where what direction it was coming from. It was so lethal and silent. And the reason was, so when they raised their finger, they said, I am an archer. And so raise your finger. I am a warrior.
I am a warrior.
I am a warrior. And I raised my finger and they all raised their fingers. And
they felt so good.
Oh my goodness. And we were going Friday night to the dining hall in this castle.
They were going like
where
this.
they filmed Harry Potter. And the big doors opened and we went in. Freddie and I sat in this wonderful dining room.
Well, they have
as we're going
it's beautiful.
down the hall, this lady, maybe 80, 90-year-old woman's coming towards us. And she comes towards us, she goes like this. And we went, and so now on the highway when I'm driving,
it's their theme song,
and I see someone give me the finger, I think, oh my God, it's an archer. They're a warrior. And I give them it back. Yeah.
And then they sang this song.
And then we sang this song. And we want to help you by raising vibration and for healing all of yourselves. So it goes like this. Now, are we ready, Jacqueline?
Maybe Jackie would.
Jackie,
I'm ready when you are. You go ahead. You can give them the idea.
Okay. So, anyways, you have to know the birth of this song. And here we go.
Oh, beautiful.
Every little
cell in my body is happy.
Every little cell in my body
is well. I am so happy.
I can tell. Every little cell in my body is all together now.
Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well.
I'm so happy, I can tell. Every little cell in my body is well. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body
is well.
I'm so happy, I can tell. Every little cell in my body is well.
Take them and keep it, and
yes,
when you're driving in your car, sing it, and makes all these cells vibrate in the body, raises the frequency,
and it's making them happy
of the body.
Yes,
and I just wanted to mention that, remember, heart walkers, you can identify them very quickly because they usually are people that don't have filters, and they can say things very, very cold and hurtful. That's a head talker. And with the heart walker, they're the ones that they're very loving. But the thing is that sometimes they just are broken to pieces because they believe, because they're loving, that everyone else is going to be loving to them. And then suddenly they think, why did they do that to me? I'm a good person. Of course you're a good person. And it had nothing to do with you. They were, they were lost. And we have to connect the head and the heart together. And when the head and the heart walker, or the head talker and the heart walker travel from north to south, and they meet in the middle, and they become, this spirit of oneness. And then it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter because we're no longer affected by words, because we believe
we're in balance,
and we take nothing personal. And when the head operates from the ego body, remember this, when we're in our ego bodies, we know immediately that we need to get out of that, because we're basically constantly, like in the canoe, struggling to know balance, and like the earth is struggling to have homeostasis. Yeah, so it's a constant.
Too much heart, or too much head. Yes,
there must always be balance. And what you need to do is remember the ego body. When you are in your ego body, you are out of Creator's will, because ego is to edge God out. Okay, we don't want to do that. And when we make creator our foundation and our source, then we have the 4 quadrants in balance. And you know, I just say in the medicine wheel, the 4 colors, red, yellow, black, and white.
It's like the Sunday school.
Yeah.
Song. They are
Precious in his sight. And you know, the wonderful thing is that when you realize that, and you listen to the chimes outside,
Yes.
they're just chiming out there. It sounds wonderful.
Red and yellow, black and white.
So red and yellow, black and white are the colors of the medicine wheel.
Yes.
So remember, white is the north, yellow is the east, red is the south, and black is the west. And then when you rub all those colors together, if you're painting, and you rub all those colors together,
See if anybody knows.
what color do you think
What
it
color?
becomes? Anyone know?
Brown?
What?
Brown?
Brown.
Brown.
That's
Did
my
you
guess,
say-
brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mother Earth. Mother Earth.
Ah,
Isn't that beautiful?
We
yeah.
all
We're
become
all up from Mother Earth.
we all become one.
Yeah.
And when you look,
So we're
heal
all
the heart.
colorblind. We all have to be
Yeah.
colorblind.
and
Yes.
when we heal the heart, we will heal the earth. So to the person who would ask the question, can we change? What we can do is love them unconditionally and just let it go. Don't worry about it. Don't try and be the fly on the wall. You know, it's not important, the outcome. You just do what you're supposed to do. And that's love them unconditionally. And that's what we do. So we love them
But
unconditionally.
you have to do a smudge.
And so now we're going to do our
my
smudge.
blanket. We have to. We need.
And then we fold our
we need
blanket.
5 minutes for the blanket for just for people.
So what we're going to do is take, you can see these prayer braids that are braided by the grandmothers. And these are 6 years old. So they were picked 6 years
They're
ago.
still very green. I mean,
very
they're still-
green, and you could smell like they were just so powerful. And because the prayers are tied off at each end, and they're very powerful. So they go up when they're placed in a house.
And they're dowsing rods.
They go up 100 feet into the sky, 100 feet into the earth, 100 feet out, 100 feet out. So you look at that and say, how perfect is that? So above, below, within, without. So this is one of the sacred herbs that we use but we don't use these for our smudge because these are prayer braids.
Yes.
They are placed in homes, and basically the grandmothers that
Each
made these
twist
prayer
is a
braids,
prayer.
yeah,
Yeah.
each braid is
Like the
Turtle Mother,
twist.
say
The
it.
twist is a prayer. So as they twist, they say a prayer, and then the second one,
Yeah.
and then the third one, and so it's loaded with wonderful prayers.
Yeah.
And
they're not
beautiful
cut
for
by
your home.
scissors or knives. They're pulled out, and they only take every third blade
Yeah,
of
we just-
grass.
yes, that's
Yeah.
right. Everything, yeah.
Yeah, for
that's-
what?
Well, because we always leave for Mother Earth. We never can take everything from the earth.
So we leave one
So we always leave one,
for
and
the earth,
and then it grows again,
and one for,
and then it grows.
and then what about the other 2? So we leave one for the earth,
Yes,
and one for creator,
yes.
and one for ourselves. And then
It's beautiful.
they're braided and made into these powerful prayer braids. And this is 6 years old,
Mm,
and it looks
it
like,
smells so good.
I've gone into stores, but sweetgrass is not, what we're talking here is a prayer braid. It's sweetgrass, but it's grown and braided into prayers. So now with those teachings, is there any question about that?
Do you want that?
I need the,
We've got some more thank yous. Thanks for a wonderful meeting.
Oh.
We don't have any questions about the prayer breeds themselves.
okay, good.
And our guests are from Ontario, for Linda, who asked where they are.
Yes,
Yes.
So anyways, I want to do the smudge. So I'm going to ask.
I will. I'm going to.
You can help.
Should I? I know. We're sitting on here.
Growing old is not.
Um,
It's all. We should not complain.
no.
But
You want to put,
here we are.
I better go and get water, so maybe you better, like, just want to make
No,
sure.
I'll put it outside. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Okay, so now we just need a little bit of. Hang on.
maybe
I'll get a little bit of.
just so that this. I can hold it like that.
Hang on, guys.
Yes, this is a beautiful shell. Used this one for quite a while.
Well,
It's
listen to
very
this.
large. Not too much. We don't want to start a fire.
I guess that's why you got the water earlier, right? And you
Yeah, no, we just to put it right outside the door after, which is great. Just about very good.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
And now what we want to do is light the sacred shell. The four elements are here. The shell comes from the ocean. The sage comes from the earth. The eagle's feather comes from the sky and creates the wind. So what we have is, and then the fire. So we light the
We have all the
sage
elements
in the farm.
equally.
Yeah. So just a moment.
It's not quite yet.
You do
Maybe
right.
I'll let you
do me
this. Okay, I will just do this. Language. Now we will send this to you, my brothers and sisters. And as we come to the close of another page in the history of our people and our customs, may we leave you with the sacred smell of the sage. And may it, with your spirit, be carried high, high into the higher octaves of enlightenment. May you soar high with eagle. May you know the joy of the morning sun. May you know the warmth of a loving relationship that must always begin with you. To be unconditional and to love without any conditions. And we ask that you, Creator, would find this sacred smudge acceptable in your sight. And to the children of this planet, the four-leggeds of the forest and
the feathered children of the sky, to the water children of the great waters, to the creepy crawlers of the earth, and to the two-leggeds. We honor you, Creator. We ask, Creator, that you would watch over this sacred star, for we know and believe that you would never allow humanity to destroy your creation. For you are the creator of the universe. You are the creator and the spirit of all life. To you, Creator, may this sacred smudge have been acceptable in your sight. Make which,
Make rich.
make which, make which. Now, what we do is we take our blanket.
You went on to isn't cool.
Are you okay?
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
Have to put it.
So
hold it
now
up.
we bring the blanket up to Creator, and we ask, oh Creator, who has given us the moon, the stars, the sun, and the days of our lives, may this blanket be filled with all the prayers of those that have participated in this service today. And may each person here know that their love be beyond all measure. And don't ever, ever allow anyone to tell you that you are not beautiful. Yes, for you are beautiful and you are connected to our souls. And now we close the blanket. And grandmother will take the blanket now. And together, we thank you. And be well, my friends.
Make which.
Make which, make which, make which.
Make which, make which, make
And
which.
love yourself, please. Love yourself. For you are nothing less than beautiful.
Couldn't get me crying.
Make which.
Make which.
Shy bye. Thank you. White Eagle and Turtle Mother. It's beautiful.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to ask you guys to sit down again so we can see you, your face, your beautiful faces.
Oh, you're amazing.
Oh, that's right.
That was a nice view of your thighs, though. No, that was a beautiful prayer. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys.
I'd like to share some thank yous that are coming in from our audience. It says thank you. Another one, thank you for a wonderful Questers meeting. Another one, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us. Thank you from our hearts for the healing ceremony. And another one, much gratitude. Oh, hold on, where is it? Much gratitude and love, Co's Jam. Not Toes Jam, Co's Jam.
Oh,
All my
wow.
relations.
Oh,
Another
how
one,
simple.
love in action created here. Much appreciated. Thank you. And their final one, God bless. You are beautiful.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank
Make
you.
which.
Yes.
Make which.
You are so
Make which.
appreciated. And we will be sharing this. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you to everyone who has tuned in and joined us here live for today's beautiful presentation on a beautiful sunny, here in Vernon anyways, a nice sunny Saturday, February the 20th, 2021. We thank you all for joining us. We will be sending out a replay. We give great heartfelt thanks from everybody to White Eagle and Turtle Mother for sharing a lifetime of wisdom and journeys and heart opening with us. I imagine we can all feel our hearts right now in a beautiful way. Let's remember that, and let's remember that we are truly loved more than we can ever possibly imagine.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Make which.
Make which.
Make which.
Make